Welcome to Mr. Evil, the most terrifying corner on YouTube, where secrets and unsolved cases hide in the dark. Here we dive into the world of puzzles and brutal murders and bloody crimes, where we reveal the most horrifying cases and the latest investigations without leaving any terrifying details undiscovered. Get ready for the journey through the most evil aspects of our world, where deadly secrets await to be revealed. Subscribe now and join us in uncovering the secrets hidden in the dark, and don't miss a moment of this terrifying journey through the shadows. Scary story. What if your dream house turned out to be a nightmare? What if the walls of your home hid a dark and bloody secret? What if you were haunted by a demonic force that wanted your soul? This is the story of the Amityville Horror and the family that lived there. George and Kathy Lutz had always dreamed of owning a big house with a lot of space for their 3 children, Daniel, Christopher, and Missy. They had been living in a cramped apartment in Brooklyn, struggling to make ends meet, when they saw an advertisement for a large Dutch colonial house on Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. They thought it was too good to be true. The house had 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a boathouse, a swimming pool, and a fireplace. It was also very cheap, only $80,000. The reason for the low price was that the house had a dark and bloody past. Just a year before, on November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. had murdered his entire family in their sleep, shooting them with a shotgun. He claimed that he heard voices in his head telling him to do it. He was arrested and convicted, and the house remained vacant ever since. The Lutz family decided to ignore the house's history and focus on its potential. They visited the house with their realtor and fell in love with it. They felt a strange attraction to the place, as if it was calling them. They signed the papers and moved in on December 19, 1975. They brought along a Catholic priest, Father Mancuso, to bless the house. As the priest sprinkled holy water in each room, he felt a sudden chill and heard a deep voice say, "Get out." He was terrified, but he did not tell the Lutz family what he had experienced. He left the house as soon as he could, feeling sick and dizzy. The Lutz family did not notice anything unusual at first. They were busy unpacking and decorating their new home. They celebrated Christmas and New Year's Eve with joy and excitement. They felt that they had finally found their dream house. But soon, things began to change. They started to notice strange and terrifying phenomena in the house. They heard doors slam, windows rattle, and footsteps on the stairs. They saw swarms of flies in the winter and foul smells in the air. They felt cold spots and hot spots and electric shocks from the appliances. They saw blood stains on the walls and green slime oozing from the faucets. They saw demonic faces with glowing red eyes in the mirrors and windows. One of the most disturbing incidents involved George Lutz waking up every night at 3:15 a.m., the exact time the DeFeo murders were said to have occurred. He would get up and wander around the house, feeling a strange compulsion to check the boathouse. He would also stare at the fireplace, where he saw a pair of red eyes staring back at him. He became obsessed with the house and spent hours in the basement, where he found a hidden room painted red. He called it the Red Room, and felt that it was the source of the evil in the house. The family's behavior also began to change dramatically. George became more irritable and aggressive, and his temper grew increasingly volatile. He would snap at Kathy and the children and isolate himself from them. He also stopped caring about his appearance and hygiene and grew a thick beard. Kathy became more depressed and fearful and felt that she was losing her husband. She also reported being physically assaulted by unseen forces and witnessed her children being levitated in their beds. The children became more rebellious and violent and fought with each other constantly. The youngest child, Missy, became withdrawn and quiet and began speaking of an imaginary friend named Jody, a demonic pig-like creature that she said lived in her room. The Lutz family tried to cope with the horror and hoped that it would stop. They invited Father Mancuso to visit them again, but he was unable to enter the house. He felt a powerful force pushing him back, and his car broke down. He also developed a high fever and blisters on his hands. He tried to call the Lutz family, but the phone lines were always cut off. He realized that the house was possessed by a malevolent entity and that the Lutz family was in grave danger. On January 14, 1976, after just 28 days, the Lutz family decided to flee the house in the middle of the night, leaving their belongings behind. They packed their car and drove away, never looking back. They thought they had escaped the nightmare, but they were wrong. As they drove across the bridge, they saw a horrifying sight in the rearview mirror. The house was on fire, and a huge black cloud was rising from it. In the cloud, they saw the face of Ronald DeFeo Jr. smiling wickedly. He said, "You can't get away from me. I'm coming for you." The Lutz family screamed in terror and sped up. They did not know where they were going or what they were going to do. They only knew that they had to get as far away from the house as possible. But they did not know that the house had a secret that would explain everything, a secret that would haunt them forever. The Lutz family drove for hours, trying to find a safe place to stay. They were terrified and confused and did not know what had happened to their house. They wondered if they had imagined everything or if they had been cursed by some evil force. They finally found a motel in a nearby town and checked in. They hoped that they could rest and forget about the nightmare. They locked the door and turned on the TV, hoping to distract themselves. They flipped through the channels, looking for something to watch. They stopped when they saw a familiar face on the screen. It was Father Mancuso, the priest who had blessed their house. He was being interviewed by a reporter who asked him about the Lutz family and the Amityville house. Father Mancuso looked pale and sick, and his voice was shaky. He said, "I tried to warn them. I tried to help them, but it was too late. They were in too deep. They did not know the truth about the house, the truth about the murders, the truth about the secret." The reporter asked, "What secret, Father? What are you talking about?" Father Mancuso said, "The house was built on an ancient burial ground. A burial ground of a cult that worshipped Satan, a cult that practiced human sacrifice, a cult that was led by Ronald DeFeo, Sar, the father of the murderer." The Lutz family gasped in shock and turned up the volume. They could not believe what they were hearing. Father Mancuso continued. Ronald DeFeo, Sar, was the leader of a satanic cult that operated in Amityville. He was a wealthy and powerful businessman who had connections with the mafia and the government. He used his influence and money to cover up his crimes. He and his followers would kidnap and kill innocent people and offer their blood and souls to the devil. They would perform rituals and ceremonies in the basement of the house, in the Red Room. They believed that they could gain supernatural powers and immortality from the devil. They also believed that they had to pass on their legacy to their children and train them to become the next generation of Satan's servants. The reporter asked, "How do you know all this, Father? How did you find out?" Father Mancuso said, "I found out from Ronald DeFeo Jr., the murderer. He confessed to me after he was arrested. He told me everything. He told me that he was not the one who killed his family. He told me that it was his father who had possessed him and controlled him. He told me that his father had planned the murders for a long time and that he had a motive. He told me that his father had a secret that he had hidden from everyone, a secret that he had kept in the attic of the house, a secret that he had killed to protect." The reporter asked, "What secret, Father? What was in the attic?" Father Mancuso said in the attic there was a box that contained the most horrifying thing I have ever seen. A box that contained the true source of the evil in the house. A box that contained the devil himself. The Lutz family screamed in horror and turned off the TV. They could not bear to hear anymore. They realized that they had lived in a house of horrors and that they had been exposed to the ultimate evil. They wondered if they had been infected by the devil and if they would ever be free from his influence. They decided to leave the motel and find another place to stay. They packed their bags and got into their car. They hoped that they could start a new life and forget about the past. They drove away, trying to calm themselves, but they did not know that they had made a fatal mistake. They did not know that they had left something behind, something that they had brought with them from the house, something that was hidden in their luggage, something that was waiting for them. It was the box that contained the devil, the box that had been in the attic of the house, the box that had been given to them by Ronald DeFeo Jr., who had escaped from prison and followed them to the motel, the box that he had slipped into their car while they were asleep, the box that he had cursed and sealed with a pentagram, the box that he had left for them as a gift from his father, a gift from the devil, the box that would open soon and unleash hell. The end. Thank you for joining us for this spine-tingling story. We hope you found it both thrilling and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider participating in our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more engaging content for you. Goodbye, and may you always tread carefully in the world of the unknown.